Really well.
Please mute your mic.
Please mute your mic.
Okay, we are live. Okay, welcome everybody to the last edition of the workshop series for Google Developer Students Club, University of Ibadan. Today we'll be having our speaker Josiah Adegboye take us on Introduction to Firebase. Yeah, thank you for joining us. If you are just joining, please introduce yourself in the chat section, your name and your location. Um, Over to you, Adebisi. Please read the bio of our speaker. So Josiah, you
So
can
Josiah,
get
you can get
as soon as
as soon as
Adebisi is
I
done.
Okay.
Right.
right.
Thank you very much. I would be reading the citation of our speaker today. Josiah Adegboye is a software engineer at STARPTE. He's a software engineer and a social entrepreneur, and he's passionate about building products and people. So, thank you very much for joining us, Josiah, and over to you now.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Good to be here. Haven't done this in quite a while. Yeah, a little over a year. But let's just get right to it. There've been a number of, talks before these sessions that have been going, and it's been amazing. I just want to say, like, it's awesome, like what is going on and what you guys are doing. So, yeah. I think I have slides here, and so there was a way it was supposed to come up, right? Victoria. But anyways, okay, let's just get right to it. So we're talking about Firebase and how it can literally give your app and your development process superpowers, and how you can use Firebase to take your work from 0 to 100, or maybe not zero, say like from 1 to 100. Yeah. So I'm kind of waiting for my slides to come on. Yeah. Victoria, are you there? Is Victoria there? Adebisi, I need you guys to put my slides up so I can get started.
Hello, I didn't hear you very well.
I need you guys to put my slides up so I can get started.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we're waiting for
Please
that.
try again. I cannot see your slides. Huh? Okay.
Sorry? No, I sent them to Victoria. I sent them to the mail. I sent them to the mail. So I mean, I could just share my screen so we could take it from there if you guys cannot get it up. Adebisi, are you there? We do not have a lot of time on our hands, so
Please share your screen.
okay, that I can do. All right. No, don't worry. I think there's a way to add it myself. I'm doing that. So Adebisi, I want you to broadcast my slides. I've shared them already to. Are you there, Adebisi? Nice. Okay. So we have this and we are getting started. So welcome, guys. So we will be taking a very brief intro to Firebase and talking about what Firebase is, what Firebase is not, and how you can use Firebase in your system. I'm going to try and take it from like the very, very beginning and take it all the way to the top. So let's go. So what is Firebase? Let's start by saying Firebase is a fully managed platform for building mobile and web apps that provide automatic data synchronization, authentication service, messaging, file storage, analytics, and more. I know that sounds like gibberish because it actually is. I'm pretty sure, like, except from the guys at Google, like no one else like knows like what all of that means in one shot. But for easy understanding here in English now, what is Firebase? A set of tools that provide a complete suite for app development. So basically, Firebase was built to be your one-stop shop for everything that has to do with your app. You make an app, or you are making an app, or you have the idea to make your app. By default, most people setting out to build applications go to Firebase because it's easy to set up, it's easy to get started, it's easy to move fast. You are, yeah, you are in this situation where you have everything you need from building to deploying to promoting to scaling to analytics. Everything you have is one way or the other encapsulated in Firebase. And that includes a NoSQL database, a NoSQL data storage, gives you the flexibility to have data of literally any structure. Now, for someone to pick a solution like Firebase, speed is very important. So it gives you the option of not having to plan all the structure and have your data flow in strict way. Just get started. You'll figure it out as you go. So NoSQL database for that. A very easy to integrate file storage, unlike most. Very, very easy to integrate file storage, hosting, real-time notification, and analytics. The awesome thing about Firebase is that as easy as it is to use, yeah, it's also very powerful. So you can start very small and you can grow into your Firebase usage. You can start by just having a section of your app run on Firebase, for example, authentication, or maybe storing some certain info that you need to fetch and use with other Google services. Yeah, you can have that. And then over time, your usage grows, or you just have a specialized usage as part of your stack. So that's that. Now Firebase is an optimization because traditionally this is how apps go. Traditionally, your apps go from your device. You have to set up a server, and then after setting up your server, you now have you have the responsibility of wiring up your servers to other things, wiring up your servers to your storage, your database, external services, cron job providers, security validators, authentication servers, all of those. You now start wiring all of them individually to your server. and then have your device talk to your server. So like that's going to be like a whole lot of infrastructure, right? A whole lot of planning and stuff. You'd have people working on the devices, you'd have people working on the server, you'd have people working on the database, you'd have people processing storage and setting up a CDN, those kind of stuff. It's usually a lot of stress. With Firebase, you'd eliminate all of that, and then you simply have this. So this is an example of how it is. Your device directly talk to Firebase, one platform that gives you everything. So that gives you all of it together in one place. You can easily get the feel that it's very, very easy to use. So let's give examples, right? So you have an app. Say for example, you want to build which we are going to build anyways in this a photo gallery. So we're going to build a simple app that enables you to log in, and then after logging in, you update you upload pictures, and then you can view the pictures you upload there. Yeah, and maybe also add other functionalities to it. But let's assume you are building that app. For example, you would want to first of all control user access. You want to be able to log in people, and based on who is logging, show them their own images. Second, you want to be able to upload the images somewhere and have them live on the internet. And also after that, you want to be able to access them, retrieve them, display them, right? Yeah. So all of that, we are going to work through all of that. You don't need to set up. Now imagine having to set up, you made your app, you've done all the front end. You imagine having to set up a very complex server infrastructure, or set up an EC2 instance, or set up a GCP app engine or something like that, just because you want to do that. It's overkill. So with this, you can move fast and move far. Now, if you go through the docs, for example, let's open the Firebase docs. You go through Firebase docs. There's like 1,000,001 services there. Now the question becomes, of course, like most people, like how do we start? For the most, yeah, because of how apps work, like there's a lot you can do with Firebase, like 1,000,001 things. I worked on a team for a while, and for the entire life cycle of the version one of the project, we extensively used Firebase for everything. We did not use anything else but Firebase, from analytics to data storage to files to everything. It was all Firebase all through. And even when we decided to like diversify the stack a bit, Firebase was still heavily involved in a number of things, especially authentication. Like, yeah, the authentication flow in Firebase is just awesome. So if you're wondering where to start, of course, logically, if you're building an app, the first thing you're thinking about is, how do I store data? I think before we think about anything else, think about how do you store data. And the way to do that is like Firebase has data storage, no, sorry. Firebase has data storage options, real-time DB and Firestore. Real-time DB, I think real-time DB is being deprecated, yeah, but because it's been around for a long time, people still use it. So it's going out of use, and Firestore is becoming the thing. I think let's walk through. Let's walk through an instance. Yeah, let's walk through an instance. I'm trying to get my screen up so you can see the Firebase dashboard. Guys, can you broadcast my screen? So, of course, most times you're thinking about data storage, and then after data storage, next most important thing to most systems is probably authentication, or maybe authentication first. You need to know who is who has the access to do what, who can access what data, who can change what. So we need to have that system in place where people can think of access control and people can be limited in what they are allowed to do on your system. Firebase has that, and authentication is like a very good place to start if you don't know where to start with Firebase. A matter of fact, actually, it's like a very huge secret there. Firebase has like one of the best authentication system out there, end to end. Really, a whole lot of project piggyback on it. It's very good and it's very, very secure and stuff. So yeah, Firebase authentication, it can work for very tiny systems, like you just want to do something very little, and you can scale it up to million user systems too in ways that would be very impressive to see. Data storage is Firestore and real-time DB with the advantage of being NoSQL, so you don't have to think about structures too much. You get going with it off the jump. File storage is probably the easiest to implement. It gets implemented. Oh, okay. Thank you, guys. Yeah. So yeah, let's see the dashboard. Okay, so this is an example Firebase dashboard, right? Yeah. So you have data, file database, real-time DB, storage, and everything else, functions, machine learning. There's a whole lot. There's analytics, there's distribution, there's performance test lab, there's analytic events, conversion rates. There's a whole lot to see here. You can even monitor engagement. You can monitor a lot of things, notification, in-app messaging, many advantages to using Firebase. It's awesome. Like these are just the default one. And you also have the support to install a number of extensions out the jump. So oh, I can only broadcast 2 screens at once. I think I want to do this. I want to do the slides now. Okay. So yeah, please put the could you broadcast the slides back? So yeah, so that's that. Also, order. I think those 3 are the very first step. Other honorable mentions in the Firebase ecosystem would be cloud functions. Cloud functions enable you to track events and to write logic that do not necessarily need to wait for user interactions, that do not necessarily need to live in your app. You want to encrypt certain data. You want to send, when users log into your system, you want to send them a welcome mail. You want to send password reset mails. Cloud function is your go-to place. Analytics, you want to monitor users' activities. You want to see how many users you're getting, how users are interacting with your systems, and all analytics come into play. And then, of course, hosting, you're done with all of it and you want to put it together. Yeah. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Josiah.
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh, it's good. You've been missing for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, just put the slides back right now. So I think I'll be fine once you do that. So that being said, there's like a number of people. The thing about awesome stuff is many people, it would be loved. So we have many people, many companies, and I for one, like our team uses Firebase too, on a number of levels. Some projects are totally Firebase, some have an integration of Firebase as part of the stack. So that being said, let's get ready to move. Let's move. Okay, so that's enough talking. Let's see some code. So we want to make this app. Yeah, it's a very simple app, and what it would do would be to help us have an app where we can log in you see your systems, you upload pictures, and after uploading your pictures, the pictures live there forever. When you come back, you can log in again and see the picture. So I'm going to show us an example. So this is already running. Look out, 3,000. So I already have an account. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I already have an account. Then you, okay, those are like error handling stuff. So we'll get to it. So the first thing first you need to do really would be to create a Firebase project. So yeah, we're getting started. We have a React app that has an home page and an upload page, and it's going to basically just work. Yeah. So first thing we want to do at the end of the day is to create a Firebase project. Okay, so we get this up. To all of it. I give this a moment to spin, and then ordinarily, yeah, you would come to your app, and then you would, this is the point where you would naturally install Firebase. So assuming we did not have Firebase installed, this is a good point to run yarn and Firebase, install Firebase one shot, and that's the first thing to do. Okay. Wow. So a new version like literally came out between yesterday and this morning. It's crazy. It's a fix though. So we have our project here very ready to go. The first thing you need to do is to set up your project, and it's simple. Come to the web, set up this. It's file. You can call this anything really, but you want to name it something that makes sense. So you can start hosting, but for the sake of this, so we don't take a lot of time, we probably won't host this. Yeah. After that, then install Firebase. We've installed that already. Yarn at Firebase. Yarn at Firebase. Victoria, you guys can see my screen here as I'm moving around. Okay, the font size, is that for the browser or for the code editor, or generally really? Sure, I can always increase the font size. Okay. Basically, yarn add Firebase to install Firebase. All right. So now the next thing you want to do is to come and copy your config. So Firebase would need this config. So your app would need this config to be able to store your data or your odds or everything to your exact app instance. So you would come and copy these guys out. Let's copy them out. And then you paste them somewhere, usually in your environment keys. And then now the awesome thing about Firebase is like everything is associated with this project ID. So your auth domain is your project ID.firebase.com. Story bucket is your this.asport.this. It's just very crazy. That's not unimportant anyway. So that's that. So yeah, set that, and then set your messenger ID and your app ID too. So you just basically get all of this config here and then pass them. I'm going to show you where we use them. change that password. So yeah, patiently copy this. And yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, puts all of the powers of Firebase in your app. Like that's literally all you have to do. Yeah, so that's that. So let's go back to the app now. Now we have an app. You can explore your dashboard. You can explore authentication. So yeah, we want to make an authentication system for people to be able to create accounts or log in with usernames and passwords, right? So yeah, authentication, and then we get started. Okay. Yeah, I would use a bigger font for the code. So get started with authentication. Now, Firebase has a number of providers, and all of this work just out the box. So for your social login, you can use Google, you can use Facebook, you can use Game Center, Apple, whatever, and they all work in very straight out the box. Firebase also supports anonymous auth. So anonymous auth is like a system that enables you know who is on your system per se without necessarily creating an account. So an anonymous user is tracked as per, this user exists. All these requests come from this person. So it's bunched up together as belonging to one user, and that's how it works. But for now, we'll just do email and password. Enable this. Yeah, let's enable. No, let's just do that. Let's not go into that. So nice. Now we can go and create our username and password. So let's see. So let's come back to our page here. Yeah. So now we can see this here. Ordinarily, I think we'll just want to take out all of this first. Yeah. And we'll walk through the making of all of them. So it's basically just a React app with 2 pages. Yeah. I just want to take out all of the logic. Nice. Okay. So let's start. So we run the app, and then you basically see that it doesn't really do a lot. So for the most, it is an app, just an app. Nothing major is happening here. This page, create new user, upload page, we show you the upload. This would select a file, normal HTML file input. That doesn't necessarily do much. So it probably won't do anything, yet. So yeah, let's go and make it work. Now, and the very first thing you want to do here is to actually get your auth in place. So would handle submit, would go through this block by block. So yeah, would create a username and password first. Now here's the thing. The thing about Firebase is that Firebase has regular modular services. Oh, I haven't showed you through. Okay, yeah. So our environment keys here, we come and use them here. Sorry, take this guy out. So yeah, to set up our environment keys, it's simple. Now we import them basically because we are using .env. They are coming in as environment keys, app key, auth domain, database URI, product ID, storage bucket. And so this object, this here, you guys see like it looks exactly like it looks exactly like the one we saw, like the object that was brought up to us, right? For our setup. So it looks exactly same shape, API key or domain. We pass it down to it. Then we initialize an app, initialize the Firebase app with this. Yeah, and also we create all of the objects we need to use. So formerly Firebase was chunked up together. If you've used Firebase before, formerly you probably do something like Firebase dot Firestore as your DB, as your DP, as your DB. But for recent version 9, like it treats all of it modular so that you can have the option of having lighter bundle sizes. Your bundle size can be very light. You can use less spaces on your deployments. So and instead it provides utility functions that get the specific instances for an app. So your app is created, your app exists. Okay. Your app exists, and then you create the auth instance, the database instance, and the storage instance all from one point. Now you can really do this anywhere, or you can just do this when you need them. So in your home, you can actually just make your auth here if you have access to the app, yeah, which you can easily export from this point. Yeah, export this. Or you can do it this way, and this is a way neater way of doing it. You provide a context. Now, of course, we add context. So you provide a context, and then in your context, you pass down all of the values, the DB, the auth, the storage, and the user. So this context would wrap this guy around, would wrap your entire app around. And this would provide Firebase to everything you do. But let's try it another different way so you actually get what is going on here. So let's export this actually. Export constant equals to initialize app. So yeah, like that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, yeah. So now that we have our app all set up, I don't know if the code is big enough for you to see. But now that we have our app all set up, now we are ready to roll. So we can also, like now this is using the original instance of app. So we can come and use just use the Firebase service, which is from the context we got earlier. Or we can create auth here is equal to get auth, and then we pass app. Now we have to import app, of course. So we import app. Yeah, and now we have app. So nice. Now this would give us an auth instance, and this auth instance we can use in our work. So that being said, now Firebase.auth is there. So this is how Firebase is structured. You have utility functions for each of your operations. Please, if the font is not good enough, please say. So we can create user with email and password. There's There's login methods, there's sign in, there's a lot of other methods, signing with anonymously, signing with credential, signing with email and password. Yeah, let's add that too. We'd also need that. So yeah, that's that. Create user email and password. This would just this, and after that you would want to, so that's it basically. Create user email and password, and that's all you need. You just call this one function. You call this one function. So instead of the complex, now remember, normally you'd have to set up a JWT server, you'd have to do all of those stuff, you'd have to process when you get your user password, you have to first of all encrypt, then you have to first of all sort and pad, then encrypt and store in databases, then check if email is right and stuff. Now this automatically handles everything for you. So that does that. If you need, and this would work, but however, if there's an issue with your email or with your password, it will throw an error, and that's why we want to catch that here. So show you what went wrong and the error message. Now, if this works well, also if things work well too, would want to know that it works well. So want to know that it works well, so that'll be success. So that's that, and then would want to move to the upload page. So like user successfully signs in or registers, take them to the next page. So that's that. Okay, now that we have that in place here, we would want to let's try it out now, and we'll see that it actually works. So let's take out all of the old code. Of course. Okay. So Josiah Adegboye at gmail.com, create a new user. Nice. And then we are registered and we are in the upload page. That was very simple, right? That was very, very simple, very straightforward. So that only handles if that's a new user. So let's try to log in again. So I know this is terrible design before. All my designer friends will come in for me, but let's just put the same button together. So that's that. For that, let's create another function called login action, and that one similar to this. Oh, sorry, I have this auto-completing going on. So yeah, that's that. Sign in with email and password. Literally the same thing, just a single function does it. So let's try that instead. And you'll see that it works without stress. It works almost seamlessly. Sorry. Yeah. Now you see, if we try to create a new user, it's going to show us an error. The user already exists, so you cannot use the same user. Login old user, it logs him successfully. So you see that everything works the way your normal old system will work. No stress. Now, let's move on to the other thing then, which is the which is the upload. So for this is where our use of file and our use of database is going to come in. So what we want to do right now is when we upload a file, we want to be able to, because the files are like independent objects. When we upload a file, we want to be able to associate it with a certain user, right? Yeah, when we upload a file, we want to be able to associate it with a certain user, and that's so let's see. Actually, I ran a I'm coming. So I think I want us to do something different. So for this year, we import the storage, we import the DB, we import the user, and we import like. So yeah, I only did this to show you guys that you can literally like make this almost everywhere though. But for normal convention, and because it's obviously like the easiest thing to do, let's just keep it to the service. Yeah. So that's that. So now let's go to the next page, the upload page. I don't know if you guys are following now. Yeah. Okay. Now for the upload page, it's simple. So we would need storage, would need DB, yeah, and we need the current user. So basically, normally, normal HTML input would do. This is just a styled input, really. Yeah. So what do we have here? We have a form with an icon. That's basically it. Yeah. So we have this input that handles the file. Now we select the file, and then what do we do with it next? Then we will want to upload it with this function, which I am going to now properly make. So yeah, that's that. Now, okay, that's that. The rest is basically just React loader. But nice, and this is where we get like this is where we get the image URL. Okay, so yeah, I'll take it out so it won't confuse us when we do it. Okay, so now we are ready to make our upload function. So far so good. There's nothing special about the image upload. You come, you select an image. As you can see, nothing would happen. It won't do anything about it. It would not in any way change anything. It won't do anything with the image. Nice. Click upload, nothing happened to the image. So yeah, next thing we'd want to do is to actually make it work. Now that being said, sorry, need more space here. And that being said, let's make the function to handle upload. So set uploading equals to true, so we know we are loading. Now, yeah, so for this year, we'd have to create an image. We have to create an ID for images. So let's go back to the dashboard. Let that arrow stay there for now. So yeah, we'd have to first of all create a database. Okay, so for our use case, and guys, generally, if you're starting a new project right now, please use Firestore database this and not real-time DB. Let me see. Increase the font so you can see. Use this Firestore database and not this. This works well, but it's transitioning out of use. Google are encouraging more and more products to use this instead of this, and yeah. So we'll create a database, start in test mode. Start that in test mode. So let's wait for that to work. Nice. So this is this. Let us create a collection. Sorry, I think I had something stuck in my. So let's just create a collection called images here. We need to provide any document ID, really anything. So we'll delete this just about now, but we need to provide something to create a collection. Yeah. Nice. So we have a collection where we'll store the information about our images right now. So let's set up the storage. Now, basically, this is so yeah, looks like we're all set up. So we can go back to our app. Now, every storage folder is identified by a ref. So your stores are identified by individual references. So the next thing we'll do is to create the specific storage folder, the location in your bucket that your storage is going to go to. File ref is equals to yeah, the ref function. Nice. So you create a reference for that, and then you pass the storage instance, and then a string, any string really can be any string, but want it to, so yeah, can be any string really. So yeah, let's just do that. Now we have our reference and we are going to upload it. We are going to upload to that reference. So there's a number of upload functions to Firebase. Upload this, upload byte redeemable, upload. There's many for a number. So upload byte redeemable. And then we pass in the file reference, and everything. And the file is the file that was gotten from our. Now this is our file. So it just sets one file, one singular file to it. Yeah. So yeah. I'm sorry, just await this straight ahead. Yeah. So we await this, and then when this is done, the next thing we would want to do. So this file, okay, I'll walk you through all of the process. So this file, once created, would exist in. So we have this handle upload. So let's try it out. Okay. Guys, let me know if you're following in the comments. So like, let me see some comments. Let me know how many people are following. Like, if you have questions, please post them. Actually, like, just acknowledge like that you're following in the comments right now. I think I need that right now. Okay. So we log in. Of course, files has to be this. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we have that. So let's try uploading something very random. Component. Yeah. Okay, so let's try uploading this very tiny file that just says hello world in the picture. Yeah. So we upload it. And let's come to Firebase. Okay, that should work right now. So I want to show you the difference between why would need the database, why database would come in handy right now. So yeah. So we upload this okay, why are you not working? Allow read, allow write. Okay. Okay, so yeah, these are very important. So basically, there's really not enough time to talk about all of it, but Firebase allows you to define rules on your databases and on your file storages. So not just anybody can access your data. So you can decide. So why it was not working was because we do not have the access to upload data on it. So now that the rule is in place, let's try again. This should work without a stress right now. So yeah, let's check the files, images, and we have component.js in our Firebase, and it basically doesn't do much. It just shows this component hello world. It doesn't do a lot. So now the problem is because of we missed a very important step. That file exists in Firebase, but we cannot touch it. Now for each file we need to get a we need to get a what's it called? We need to get a download URL. Sorry, I had a call. I was distracted there for a bit. Yeah, so next thing we do is we get download URL. So we get that, get a download URL. So constant URL equals to this the download URL. Now Okay, let's update it one more time and let's see. Oh, of course, I didn't await to study. Okay, so yeah, so one would get this URL. It would basically just be a string. Now we want to take this URL here and then store it in the database so we can easily access it. We store it in the database for the user. Whenever the user opens the page, you can easily access it. So let's just go ahead and add the logic for that. So yeah, add docs to image. Now we're going to add the image URL and then yeah, the user's email, so the user can know his own image. User can know his own image, and we can easily get the image for each user. So that's that. Let's try it and see that it works. And also we'll check the database to be sure that it works in the database too. So yeah, component.js. Let's upload this. Okay, now we have this. Come on, use in inside right. We did just create an image collection. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's create. Let's create an image. Let's try this time, and this should work. So when we create that, and let's see. Okay, let's wrap it in a try card so it'll be easy for us to get what is going on here. So basically, Firebase would always try to resolve whatever it is with your file or your image. We saw that in the authentication here, like when the user email was already taken, it did us the, can I say, good of telling us that, oh, okay, this user's email is already taken, and so you can know what to do based on that error. So if this works, we've successfully made a new user, then I think at this point we can just like notify the user that, okay, you are good, you are Gucci. Go ahead and enjoy the app. Loading to false, so we don't have to necessarily reload. That button comes back to normal. Yeah, let's reload this guy. So let's reload this guy. I mean, React does have I'm just noticing this comment vor.red. I don't know what it means, but thanks. It shows you are following. Yes, so upload. Can I use in operator to search for? Stack delegate in undefined. Okay, there's no reason why this should not work. Okay, let's get to the bottom of it soon, don't we? Of course. Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad there. So we added doc, collection, reference to collection, and the specific database and the path to the collection. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah. Okay. So after this, on the effect, we should see okay, there's no telling why this is not working, but it should be working. So you add a collection normally, and this should work. This is a classic. It worked yesterday night. It's no more working scenario. But yeah, I guess everybody has to deal with it sometimes. Okay. Happens to the best of us. So we want to add a document at the collection for this and have that return successfully. So let's try it with this guy. If it does work, then it means we are just missing something and we would find it. Okay, so let's get to the root of it now. Let's debug it and let's see what's up. Permissions. No, this should work. This should work well. Okay. I mean, this doesn't show an error, but it doesn't work right now. So guys, just give me a moment. I'll get to the root of it. Let's figure it out together. So okay, something is out of place because it works. Okay, so this works. For some weird reasons, however, it is not storing the data here. Oh, that was actually supposed to take us into the next point of how to get data from Firebase. Images. I'm having a weirdest scenario I've never had before, guys. So the data apparently is not showing up on the dashboard for some reason, but it's actually working because you see it coming to the app. So what's really happening here, and I'll walk you guys through it the best I can because this beats my logic right now. Yeah. So what's happening right now, far as I know, is now we are creating an image, we're uploading an image. If you guys see anything out of place in the code, that's something that is of JavaScript that is not correct JavaScript or something, just let me know. So basically what we do here is we get the image, we create a file reference, then we store the image. After we store the image, we have to retrieve a download URL for that file reference. We retrieve that download URL, then store that download URL in a database collection. Database collection is made specifically for that collection, right? So we store all user images in a format of email URL, image URL, and email. So now this can have any structure. You can add anything, date created or something, custom new date, just anything really. Like there's no limit to what it can have in any way. So that's like one of these things about Firebase. Now this should work seamlessly. So let's try another image. Try uploading another image. Ah. Okay, so let's try it one more time. Again, guys, there's really no reason off the top of my head why this is happening. But let's check. Let's fix it, shall we? Okay, let's take everything from the top again. Our initialization, we get all the keys. And we show the match. Okay, now we'll go and check the values and make sure they really are correct. I'll upload a live and Oh, so the app ID. And the message sender ID. Okay, so I'll just try and stick with the code that already works and is already there. Yeah, and then we'll figure out why that is not working much later. So we'll upload our files here, and after uploading our files, now this hook is a basic so in Firebase, let's go through the docs. If we had the data in and you saw the liveness with which the data were appearing, then it would have made a lot more sense. But for this, we just have to make use of what we just have to make use of what we have. So we reload and let's reset the files too. So we reload and we select the file again. Okay, image has been uploaded successfully. All right, so now we have user image. Nice, and we have our email and the image URL. Pretty sure it has something to do with the access keys there. So yeah, we have the image URL and everything is working perfectly. We can upload another image. Nice. So we have another image, and now you've noticed something that the images are like literally appearing immediately they are done. So how do we make that? Now in Firebase, you can get data from the database in real time. So like that's the real time advantage. Can you guys hear me? Like, please drop a comment. Like if you are still there. Like we solved that funny bug. So yeah, we can move on to the fun part and the last part actually. So there's many ways to request image. So here we are querying for a database, creating a collection for data. So now ordinarily, if you wanted to get your data one shot, like without having to wait for it, so there's you do Okay. Oh, hi Ikmot. I can see you. That's nice. Really nice. I'm seeing you here. Really hope you're going through it. Okay. So now ordinarily, yeah, if you wanted to just get data one time from Firebase, it would be this collection dot for each dot data, and then you await your data. Yeah, and then you get your data once, like one shot to get all of your data. However, because we want to monitor the changes in the database, we create this hook. Um, we add a use effect. Now, normal React use effect runs on certain changes to runs on certain things, especially data changes. So passing dependency arrays, based on that, it runs the function. So now this is going to run once, and it's going to run only when it's mounted. And what it's going to do is to subscribe to it's going to subscribe to this collection basically. And remember our user image source collection we made here? It's going to subscribe to the user image collection. Sorry, clean out all of this guy. Going to subscribe to the user image collection we made, and then after that, it's going to go through all of the data. Like, going to go to all of the data. We are passing a callback to it, and all of the new data is going to be populated to the data we already have on our screen. Now, when we reload our page, we would have the data populated on our screen, like without having to refresh. So let's take this out so we get what we are seeing. So yeah, let's take this out. Let's take out the hook part of it, the subscription part of it. So we have constant collection equals to yeah. Okay, so this should work wonders. Take this out of the hook. Yeah. That's the rest of it. Yeah. So where do we use collection before it is initialized? Of course, image collection. No. So yeah, let's make a reference to this. And then manage data. No, read data. Yeah. Get data once. Yeah, so we can get data once, like one shot. Exactly. Or you can get data from a collection, multiple shots. You make a query, you pass your collection to it, and then you run that. So yeah, but what we have here instead is us having the data multiple times. So let's clear the entirety of this use effect without all the changes and comment out the entire use effect. Nice. So I want us to see the difference actually between fetching data one time and running fetching a query one time and a subscription. So a singular query would just would query your data once, but would not do that again, would not query it more than once. It would not watch for changes. Okay, let's let her read. So your query snapshot is going to be equal to query collection take the DB and we'll take the collection we are looking at, which is user images. Now ordinarily this is where, so your query function is what takes your functions. You can have where functions, you can have you can have where functions with a number of very awesome conditions which appear like this, for example. Yeah, can have so where, yeah, let's do that instead. So let's use a where function, query, and then where. Okay, so where is it? Yeah. Nice. So where user email? No, where email? Email is equal to current user dot email. I'm not sure that's how it works. So okay, so image query. Snapshot is equals to with your query. So we get docs. So the only disadvantage of this over the older version is that you have a number of imports. But then again, that's only for people that don't like looking at. I don't like looking at long lines of code, but other than that, it's way much faster and it gets stuff done easier. So yeah, so this is going to be your document. So we have new images. Let's just be an array. So images or whatever images really. is an array, and then we loop through this guy dot for each. Yeah. So data is equals to dot data. So basically, because it's not TypeScript here, each of these functions would have had their definition. So let me walk through it. So what we are doing here is we are querying this collection, which is this collection. We are querying it for every single place where the email is equals to the current user's email. Now, after we do that, we get the image snapshot. The snapshot means the data at a particular time. So the position of the data, the value of the data at a particular time is the data snapshot. So we get the snapshot and then we loop through the snapshot or the documents in the snapshot. And then for each one, oh, really? Just return data, actually. So yeah, we return data because it's basically the same thing. So we return the data. Get images, snapshot, sync. Yeah. So all of that logic and put it here instead. So we need to put it in an async function so our weights can work well. So that's that. We have these images, and the next thing we'd want to do is to set the images. Set images. Sorry, add images. Yeah. So this should work one shot for doc data. Yeah. So we have this function. Let's call him in the use effect. And this should get us our images once. But the problem with this is that if we upload another image, for example, we upload another image, say for example, we upload here the diamond. Now we upload this image, upload successful, but you cannot see it. So we want to be able to make it so that you can see it. So that brings us to the second way to fetch data from Firebase, which is the use of what is called snapshot, which is subscription snapshot. This image, this exists here. This function is cool. We're just going to shelve it here, and then we are going to write another function, which is going to be subscription. Now, no, this is going to be So this is going to use this other hook instead. So what this does is, remember for the first one, what we did was we created a query, then we ran the query, created a query with a collection and the query parameters they were. Then we ran the query, we got the docs, we got the snapshot here, we looped through them, we returned the data, then we set the image. Now for this second implementation, the live implementation here, what we'll do is we'll use, instead of, you look at this, this one was a query, and then it took the collection and just a where. This would be an on snapshot. It will also take the same collection, but instead of just a where, I think it takes a where too. Yeah. Right. Query. Yeah. Yeah, so I think this, you can move this into a query, like a full-blown query, like same as this. Yeah. So it creates a collection for it. Yeah, let's do that instead actually. So create a query for where that is equals to. So basically the same query. Now the difference between that is, so queries work the same way. This same query, yeah. We can even extract it out somewhere else. It works the same way, but for ordinary queries, you use get docs, but for this you use on snapshot, and on snapshot receives a callback function. Yeah. So that's a callback function on next that takes the document and defines what happens with each and every one of them. So let's walk through all of it. Let's write it ourselves. So we have the constant. Image subscription. Yeah, first images subscription, first images sub equals to, yeah, this would not be async because it wouldn't need any of it. Image query equals to this, equals to image query, snapshot, image sub, also on snapshot, yeah. So we return on return image sub, yeah. So on snapshot collection, and then it goes through all of the doc. No. Yeah, actually, so yeah, that's that. Technically taking this out, for clean code purposes, move the hook to down here, rename it, and let's run this instead. So what this would do, let's see if it works first, and I'll tell you what it does, what it's supposed to do. Nice. Okay. Now what this will do is that it would get sorry. Constant subscriber. I want to unsubscribe whenever component is about to unmount. So here, I want to unsubscribe whenever the component is unmounted. Now, what this would do, it would make it such that, now remember, if you look at it, it's actually the same query. Now let's use the same query for it. Image query equals to this. Use it in one place so we know it's the same query. Image query. Okay, same one should work. No stress. Nice. So now the same method of fetching data, same image query, collection, the database, and then the collection part and condition of email equals to email, right? Now the same one, using it to fetch data once. This is the snapshot to fetch data once, like this once. Fetch images once would work this way, and fetch images subscription would work this way too. So the only thing that would change is how we decide to fetch the data, but the query remains the same. Now let's try this and see if we would have our end-to-end data upload. Let's select probably my favorite image of all time, this, and upload. So now we have it. It works just as we want it to. So yeah, that's that. Next step would be, I think that basically it. Next step would be to clean out the implementation for this guy. Okay, yeah. So I initially wrote like this was written in with then, and it was a little bit messy. So let's try and write it out in async await, shall we? Which we try and catch. So yeah, that's expected to fail. So remember again, like, so we get the storage reference. We get the storage reference. And with upload byte. By the storage reference and then the file. Now, next thing first, we get the download URL from that storage reference. Really easy stuff. And then with that download URL, we add doc. Like, that's simple. We add doc to the collection in the DB called user collections. And the doc we add is email and image URL. And then we show the toast. Okay, and now we're ready to go. Small. I'm ready to go. So now let's test everything and see if it works. If it does, then we've won and we can call our win from here. Nice. So it works. Here's your image. Um, so we've covered how to upload files. We've covered how to store data in Firebase Firestore collections. We've covered how to authenticate users. We've covered how to query your databases once and to query it in a subscription. We've covered how to initialize a Firebase app. Wow, we have done quite a number. Questions. So I just like take like very few questions or not. Questions, guys? Okay. So that being said, we've gone through the code and now we are successfully among the millions of developers that use Firebase in their product. So next steps would probably be, deploy this somewhere and start your own unicorn. So yeah, who knows? Maybe the next Dropbox. So please, in everything you do, try as much as possible to be amazing. And I hope all of what you've learned here can be a reason why you are motivated to go from where you are to where you want to be. Yeah, Firebase is there to help you. Try as much as possible to be amazing. Please be amazing. There's so many people telling you to be humble. Be amazing. Do one better. Thanks. So I'll just wait for Victoria to take over right now. I think I'm done on my end. So thanks, guys. Victoria, over to you. That was a very, very, very long stream. So while we wait on them, you can drop questions. I'll still wait around to see if anybody else is on. But if not, I think, man, 2 hours is exhaustive time for a long stream. So I don't know if I have the authority to to call it quit. So Also, guys, if you do need so I'll communicate the resources over to the admin, to Victoria, and then she'll give them to you, as many people that want it. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that can be added to the video or whatever. So yeah, and also first and first, please go to a place in Ibadan. If you're ever in Ibadan, go to a place called Tunlade Art Theatre and look at this picture. It's a very beautiful picture. It's probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And then follow me on socials, 100 underscore crown on IG, on Twitter. And also you can send me a mail, Josiah@gmail.com. Yeah. Awesome conversations start whenever, can start anywhere really. And whatever it is, I'm always there for it. So thanks guys. I would
Okay, Josiah, are you done?
yes we are.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for that session. If anyone have any question, please drop it in the chat section for us. Yeah.
We still have like a lot of time to take questions because I don't know. That was a very long one.
Yeah, actually, that's a very, very, very long one, and yeah, we appreciate you for that. I think your session is the only session where we actually like tried reading something during this. So, like most people always come to present and just introduce um the Google technology. But
Oh,
like this is awesome. But we really appreciate it though. Like I'm very sure that a lot of people would want to practice this. Yeah. So thank you still. Like
yeah.
okay, so I don't think
make the
I
video
don't
so
think
people can.
yeah, no problems. I don't think anyone has any question, but for rounding up the session, do you have any last words of advice or words of advice for people that watch
Mm,
this or people
oh
that
no,
want to learn Firebase?
they should keep at it. They should try out a number of scenarios. So basically, they should try things out themselves. They should see where things would work the most. They should stretch it. They should be flexible. They should learn cloud functions and basically just test the limits. Yeah. If they need more clarity or anything, they can always hit me up. Think yeah, my contact info are part of this slide, so I'm here for that.
Okay, yeah, sure. Like anyone that has any question will always reach out to you or me or the group. So yeah. Um thanks to everyone that stayed to the end of this session. And make sure you like and subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get updates on our upcoming events. I think this is the end of our workshop series, so we'll just continue the Tech Talk series that holds every Friday by 7 p.m. Yeah, thank you so much, Josiah.
All right,
Come to
thanks,
the end of
guys.
the um, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay.